Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Martinez, content marketing specialist at Alpaca. Today, we are excited to be joined by Jamie Hodge, Director of Quality Control, and David Aferiat, co founder and managing partner at Trade Ideas, a platform that helps empower investors of all levels to make informed market decisions. So, I'm inviting David and Jamie to give an intro of yourselves and Trade Ideas.
David, would you like to have the honors, or I can
Sure,
start?
yeah. Thank you, Mariangela. So my name is David Aferiat. I'm one of the co-founders and managing partners of Trade Ideas. And it's now a 20-year-old company that we started collecting revenues in 2003. That brings us today into our partnership with Alpaca, which we're very proud to launch and bring into the many partners that we've had and that have led to our growth, and that we've led to the growth of our partners over the years.
And hello, everybody. Mariangela, thank you for hosting us today. My name is Jamie Hodge. I'm the Director of Quality Control here at Trade Ideas. I've been instrumental, along with David, in putting this project together, so we're very excited about the upcoming launch. Just a little bit about myself. I've been in the securities industry since 1992. I've been on the trading side since '96. Been using Trade Ideas ever since it first came online back in 2003, and have been working closely with the company since 2007. And as David said, boom, 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 fast forward through the years, and here we are about to launch a cool new product with you guys. So we're super pumped.
Awesome, thanks. So before we dive into the questions, I'm going to read a few disclosure sentences. So Alpaca and Trade Ideas are not affiliated and neither are responsible for the liabilities of the other. Any topic talked about in this interview is not financial, investment, and/or tax advice. We encourage our listeners to seek individual advice. So first question, what is Trade Ideas and what is the mission of the platform?
Yeah, I'll answer that. So the mission of Trade Ideas is has always been the same. It hasn't changed since we started in 2003. It's pretty simple. It's about helping our subscribers make better decisions in the U.S. equity markets, right? That hasn't changed for over 20 years. Using the tool helps subscribers identify opportunities, make better decisions about buying and selling, all in a risk managed envelope, if you will. And what does that really translate to? Our main value proposition in providing this service and in our mission is to help our subscribers save time, save the hours looking at setups, save the hours designing strategies, saving the hours and even minutes contemplating about what position size to enter the market with, and to consider what the risk parameters are. It's very easy to give an idea about how to get into a trade. It's very hard to include in that information the guardrails for when and how one would get out. And so providing that information saves a lot of time. And I would say one aspect of our mission is also to help level the playing field. We strive to give the individual active investor and trader the information as good as in some of the more larger, well-capitalized market participants and institutions that move around in the market. And we think we do a great job, and that's why we've been around for 20 years.
That is exactly true. 20 years. It seems strange that we've been here for that long, but time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, time goes fast. That's for sure.
And delivering value. I mean, if we weren't doing what we do, the market would have put us out to pasture quite a long time ago. But the mission guides all of our innovation, as we'll talk about in a moment. The mission guides the way we treat our customers, and the mission helps with really both the internal culture with the Trade Ideas and, again, our approach to the market and our approach to partners as well.
Thank you. Please tell us about the features you provide.
Okay, I'll knock this one out. Well, in its bare essence, we are a real-time scanner of the U.S. and Canadian stock markets. So that's what we empower our customers to do, is find what they feel is important to their trading style, their trading routine. So real-time scanning of US and Canadian equity markets. So not only do we take in all the raw data, from the markets, but we also archive our own proprietary data. And what that does is that allows us to create innovative and cutting-edge metrics for just about every style of trading. As David said earlier, we can really help active traders, whether they be swing traders or day traders, save a lot of time by providing them with the scanners that show them their specific setups, not having to sort through hundreds of tickers to find the thing that meets their criteria. So we help traders save time, while at the same time helping them find higher probability signals, and of course managing risks as well. Our charts have features that, as David said earlier, show you the guardrails. If you're wrong, this is where you're going to get out, because it's not just about the trading. Our charts are ever evolving. We've got some new technology coming up down the pipeline that's going to be pretty exciting. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention one segment of our software called Brokerage Plus. That is the integration that we're doing with you guys. So we're very excited about that. And Brokerage Plus allows you to trade through Alpaca with a brand new, robust interface that allows traders to execute, manage risks, and do all the things that traders need to do. So it's a very exciting time to be partnering and launching that product with Alpaca.
And is your target customer more towards like more experienced investor, or can they, even if they are just starting out, can they join Trade Ideas?
That is applicable to the brand new trader or the old grizzled veteran. Okay, everybody can use the tech, because one thing that we like to say all the time is, when you first learn to ride a bike as a child, you probably had training wheels, right? So with the Brokerage Plus integration, that will allow you to certainly trade in real time through Alpaca, but also there's a paper mode where you can log into the paper mode of Alpaca and quote unquote practice your trading before ever putting any live capital at risk. So yes, it's applicable to the brand new trader and the seasoned veteran and anywhere in between.
That's a huge, that can't be that's just a huge benefit. You want to be using technology that helps. And whether you're a grizzled veteran or new to trading, you want technology that is doing the job almost unappreciated, or that would be rather the better way to say it is taken for granted. There is so much that goes into surfacing not just an idea, but as we said before, the plan around that idea, how to get in and how to get out. And that's applicable and appreciated by whether someone who's a grizzled veteran who can recognize, oh my gosh, this is saving me so much time, or even a brand new person to the market who takes for granted, like, oh, of course this information should be here and it should do this for me. It really, as Jamie is saying, it stands on a lot of technology, and one aspect of it is this ability to sharpen the saw without ever having to put anything at risk, the simulated trading that we have.
Absolutely.
Thanks. So what does your educational resources consist of?
Okay, I'll take that one. We have a multitude of educational resources. First off, within the TI Trade Ideas product, the scanner in and of itself, we have a built-in user manual that will allow you to learn about any functionality of the platform right there, easily accessible at your fingertips from the online version. From the education section from our trade-ideas.com website, you can access the user's guide as well. We also have a series of videos called Getting Started, which is really good if you're brand new to the product. We have daily support sessions Monday through Friday, every day between 12 and 1 p.m. Eastern, hosted on YouTube. And so it's free for anybody, whether you're a new user or an advanced user. This is the hour that we allocate every day, and a different trader personality at Trade Ideas takes the helm Monday through Friday. So you can come, you can participate, you can get your questions answered in real time. So that's the 1 hour a day that we make available, where you can come get real-time help from one of us here at Trade Ideas. In addition to that, we also have a trading room that is free to join. We also have educational videos on our YouTube channel. I forget how many hundreds are on there now, but it is definitely a plethora. We also have a series of videos that you can access from our education section called Back to Basics. I believe that one was done by Michael Noss, who is one of our people here, resident CMT. So we're glad to have him. And then we also have a wide variety of trading books and documents that you can also access from the educational section of the website. So pretty comprehensive as far as education goes, both in written form and live support. Oh, and I shouldn't forget, we also have live support right from the website that is staffed every day. And if you have a question, you can get it answered pretty quickly just by hitting the live chat from our website as well.
Just to add to that, people want an experience when they subscribe to a service like Trade Ideas. And for something as important as a lot of how our subscribers use our service, some of them use it to support themselves through seasonal work. Some of them use it as a full-time avenue for identifying opportunities and using the markets to support their their lifestyle. There's a lot riding on this. And so the experience is not just how we define it inside the technology, but outside of technology through the support services that Jamie just listed. So we need to appeal to a vast array of types of consumers, and some want to be handheld, some want the human interaction, some want the community, and we deliver that in spades. Others just want to dive right into the technology and use the helpful information that we provide digitally, both inside the tool and outside the tool, to use it to their fullest advantage.
Yeah, I think it's a great customer experience that they get to have this educational basis covered.
So it's another marker of technology. You want technology that saves time. You want technology that provides community and provides the support for everything that it's showing you. So we're going through a series of markers here, and that's how we like to be judged, is by the technology, by the support.
Yeah. So what has been your biggest challenge to date?
Let's see, biggest challenge. I could give you some kind of tactical projects that we've gone through that have been challenges. Like most recently, we made a move, an upgrade to our cloud structure from physical server locations to a hosted cloud experience that has done much to our technology in terms of speed and a lot of our capabilities that we're now quickly rolling out in terms of features that the technology has to constantly do to evolve and to satisfy the demands of our subscribers. So that's one particular challenge. But I would say in a larger sense, I hinted at this just now. We have to constantly be, innovating on the technology and constantly be looking at it from the eyes of both someone who's been in the markets for a long time, as well as those new to the markets. And through it all, a long time ago, we've been navigating by a particular strategy. It's very easy to say, but it's very hard to execute on. So I don't mind sharing it. But when we come to Alpaca, and when we come to any decision regarding the experience, as we talked about, inside the technology, even outside with our support, we have one central product strategy, and that is we want to deliver the maximum value on the first impression. You only have a first impression to make when someone's approaching your technology, and you've got to, in that first impression, deliver comprehensively this answer to what they're looking for and make them realize that, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've been looking for. I can see the time that I can save. I can see how I can get into and out of an opportunity here. I can see all that. And it's a journey. It's never a destination. So it's what's guided us for many years on product development and the experience of what our customers go through by looking at it through this lens of, are we delivering the most value? And that used to not always be the case. Many years ago, as part of this, our challenge was that we gave the stick before we gave the carrot, and we made the experience used to be go through menu after menu after menu and set up what you'd like and see what we have, and you decide and put it all together and then hit the button, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. That's a long time to go through and navigate and put out the hope that this might be the tool for somebody before they actually even see some value. But yet for many years we kind of operated on this like menu and choice, and it was way too much, until we kind of sat down and said, look, what's the experience we want? We want to be showing people how this works. We don't need people trying to experiment. So let's do the work of showing them what's actually working. Let's show them that the features that we want to, that shows the rate of innovation that we're doing and that we're investing in. And let's try to put it into this first impression experience where, as I said, they instantly get this idea that, oh, wow, this just saved me some time, or, oh, wow, I can see how to use this. And that's always been our challenge. That will continue to be our biggest challenge.
And with that first impression, do you talk to your customers constantly to see, if they're for improvements or to see what they think?
Of course. I mean, we have we live the markets as much as we create the tool technology. So, but we also have, thousands of customers now who are never shy with their, with their opinions. And what we talked about before, all of our support resources are really engagement resources. So every time we give support in a webinar, we're also taking feedback in at the same time. And if you're going to give the maximum value on the first impression, you'd better understand who it is you're giving the impression to. And it's not uniform. So meaning some people may be coming to the markets for the first time. They need a particularly different impression than maybe a grizzled veteran. Someone who's interested in looking at options data in conjunction with what we do with equity data here at Trade Ideas, that's a different view. Someone who's coming at it from the Alpaca partnership and wants to be using this connected, this connectability that we have, that's also a different impression. So the more we know about our customers as they approach the technology, the better the first impression can be, and therefore the maximum value they get.
Thank you. And you said you guys have been going on this for 20 years. So where do you envision Trade Ideas in 5 years?
Well, where do we envision? It's, it's like asking where the S&P is going to be in 5 years, or where Bitcoin will be in 5 years. All those things will certainly be part of Trade Ideas, certainly Bitcoin and certainly cryptocurrencies. But in 5 years, I really see we see the world, going through a lot of change. We're already seeing fractionalization of being able to trade fractionally U.S. equities, like you would actually with cryptocurrency. Many of those innovations in that one market and asset class coming over to the more traditional and equity side. But even beyond that, in 5 years' time, I see the world's going to be changing. And what I mean by that is that the world is going to be trading the U.S. equity markets. It's still one of the finest example of accountability and regulation that the world offers. It's the highest amount of liquidity that the world can, that's offered to the world. And so more and more of the world is trading the U.S. markets. I think that trend will certainly be in place. I think another trend that will be in place is that more and more there'll be younger people all over the world, and certainly in the U.S., engaged in the markets at an earlier age. We have initiatives already where we talk to universities about Trade Ideas, and I'm giving talks at even high schools, to give a little bit of financial literacy and to expose them to the kind of technology that's out there for finding trade ideas, in the markets. And so I think that trend is also going to be in place. We'll have the world trading the U.S. markets. We'll have ever more younger and younger people engaged and curious about how the markets work, and therefore a need for literacy and how people do that, whether it's on their phones, whether it's on their watches, or whether it's hologram projected from their clothing. all those form factors will come, and we'll adapt to them. But those other stronger trends are certainly in place. We don't see them changing.
And David brings up some good points there. The rate of change of the technology that drives the markets. I've had the privilege of seeing when there was hardly any, back in the 92, 93 era, up until where we are presently. A little short backstory here. Dan Merkin, who's our CEO and founder, I met him in a trading office that I had to go to. If you wanted to trade directly back in 1996 or so, you had to go to a specialized office. They had what they call a T1 line, which was the high-speed connection. But you had to go and use very specialized trading systems. And now everybody can just pull out the phone and make a trade. So we're in the process of adapting and trying to be visionary in the sense that, this is what's coming. Let's get geared up so that when it's really in place, we'll be able to provide. So it's been a very interesting look back from the technological perspectives and the advancements that have taken place.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, again, also pretty much where we've been and where we're going. It shows just, again, this rate of change, and where we're going is also in 5 years, with our partners, and this partnership with Alpaca, I think, will stand the test of time. I think the reason why is because we're so aligned. I see Alpaca doing the same things and providing. It's really about providing access, and one of Alpaca's the way we're most aligned, I think, is in this area of providing accessibility to people from all over the world, to the U.S. markets, for one, and who those people are will be ever changing. But when two partners like that are aligned, you get really good results and a long lasting relationship.
Perfect. What is the biggest lesson you have learned from working in this industry?
Oh, yeah. Well, to steal a line from the publishing world, adapt or perish, right? The only constant is change. And, it's just like I described the technological shift that we've seen take place over the past 27 years or so. Has just been incredible. So we have to constantly innovate. We have to constantly maintain what we have, and we have to constantly come up with new ways to view data that's been around forever. And one of the little sayings that we have here is we take information that's been around for a very long time, but we simply rearrange it into a form that's easier to understand, easier to utilize. So that is the biggest lesson that I've taken away from my tenure in the business, is the only constant is change, and you must constantly adapt because, we traders have an old saying, whatever's working right now eventually is going to stop. Maybe not for good, but for a period of time. So you have to be able to realize when paradigm shifts are occurring and alter your behavior accordingly. And if you do that consistently, well, then typically good things happen. Doesn't matter if you're trading or managing a business such as Trade Ideas.
Thank you. What do you know now that you wish you knew when you first started out?
Oh, I'll go first. When I was younger, well, I wish I would have realized that markets don't continually go up, right? Back in the early 90s, we were in this huge bull market. We were all in our 20s, having the time of our lives and actually succeeding greatly in the trading game. So you can imagine how you trick yourself into thinking, well, this phase is going to last forever, right? But then we had what we call the dot-com crash, right? So it would have been to learn from that experience instead of fight it. What I just said earlier, you have to be able to realize when something is changing, right? And of course, when you're young, you don't have the real world experience to assimilate this and make an accurate decision. So that was the first big learning experience. So I wish I would have had maybe a mentor that was telling me, okay, things are, enjoy it while it lasts, but be ready for the shift, right? So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. Wise words. I think I would probably say don't rest on your laurels. I think for a while
Bingo.
We had some great success at Trade Ideas. We landed some fantastic enterprise license partners and so forth, and those really started the firm's stable revenues. And we since made the realization that we needed to diversify those revenues, and we did a very good job of both maintaining those relationships and diversifying into the individual subscribers. But along the way, there were some periods where I think we started families between the partners, Dan and myself and others in the company, and sometimes it took a competitor to come along. And I would probably say that most of what has spurred us into higher gears have been competition. So we always welcome it, and I think we do a great job of reacting exceptionally well to it. But it can happen when someone starts to take a little bit, eat at your lunch, eat at your plate a little bit, and kind of say, oh, what is that? That let's get off our duff and either take back what is ours, and or which I would say we've done several times already. But that the lesson there is just in some ways you can't let your foot off the gas.
Thank you for the amazing advice. Is there anything else you guys would like to add? Where can they find Trade Ideas? Website, social media?
Sure.
Yeah.
www.trade-ideas.com.
And you can find us on Twitter at Trade Ideas LLC. That's Trade Ideas LLC. And it's this time. I mean, if you're interested in the market, there's never been a better time, to be able to look at all of the incredible volatility, all of these. Jamie talked about certain runs in the 90s, and we had certain more runs. And there's been people who join the market and never know a bear market. And but we know the market is nothing but cycles, and it makes it even more relevant today than it's ever been to be engaged in the market and to do it well. And so we've talked on this call, on this particular interview, with all the ways to evaluate whether you use Trade Ideas or whether you don't. You want and should demand of your technology that it A, save you time, and that B, it give you a sense of community or plenty of resources to use and explain to you how the technology works, however your speed is, whether it's purely digital or whether it's in person, whether it's over the phone or whether it's in a group setting. And those are just a few, but get very clear about what your routine is for engaging with the market, and find the technology that helps you get to the best routine. And we think it's Trade Ideas. We think it's Trade Ideas with Alpaca in particular to create a very good routine. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining and giving us the time. It was great having you.
Thanks for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.